All right, guys, you're in here for another episode. It's been a while of the Talking Shed podcast. We've got Dave Gunkelman, the Salford rep, and of course Cody.
Yep,
is with us as well. So it's a trio in here today. Did you watch the Chiefs game at all last night?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Was that a catch?
No.
No. That was a catch. Like, if that was a catch, then I've seen some wilder stuff. Of course, Cody over here, he's got to chime in.
John Gruden said it best today.
What'd he say?
If you can't gain a yard and get those crucial first downs that you need, you don't deserve to win the game. It shouldn't come down to that. If he wanted to beat him, he should have beat him by 100.
Yeah, but he had the spot. He had the yard.
Yeah. Was it a catch though? I don't think that was a catch. I wanted so bad to see the Chiefs get beat, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. But I was thinking the Josh Allen
We can
sneak.
let the who they playing?
Eagles.
Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let Saquon Barkley take care of it.
Oh yeah.
So
Boy from the Big Ten, he'll put it to him.
yeah, I would agree. But anyway, today it's the 27th of January, and basically we're kind of getting ready for some Louisville Farm Show stuff. What do you guys want to have in the booth, Dave?
We're gonna have a let's see, a 2200 with 15-inch shanks.
Okay.
Switchblade shanks.
24-footer.
Yep.
Yeah.
24-footer, and we will have a 7056N. That's a Valmar cedar that can be mounted on any brand of tillage tool.
Yep.
Lots of different scenarios you can use it in. Gonna have not sure if the BBI Liberty is going to be an HDR, if it's just going to be a mechanical spreader. I'm not sure yet what they're sending me. And then the other piece is a Halo VRT.
Okay. What size?
20 foot.
Because you had a 40-footer in there last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big dog.
With the cedar on it.
Yep.
Are they doing like the presentation stuff again, or?
Yeah, we're going to kind of like what we did
Mm-hmm.
last year. I think we're going to do some, I'm not sure about the panel discussions. Haven't talked to Tara on that yet. We'll get an update this week's show meeting on Wednesday.
I got you.
She is conducting some interviews with customers on some certain products.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know you have a customer or two coming in to
Yep.
be interviewed, and so
I know she throws together like some videos and stuff like that just for marketing purposes and whatnot. And she was here one day with one of the engineers and whatnot. And I actually just seen that video, and it had little tidbits.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you were in it, and then
a good video.
John Fraze was in it, and
where he was in the shop talking and stuff. Yeah, that was a nice video she did.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
it was good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it was good. She just had little clips of it. I was just scrolling through TikTok, and it was on there. I know, Chinese people. Sorry, give me a break, but whatever.
Cody's our TikToker.
Yeah,
I cover the YouTube. I don't do TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know.
yeah.
But there is a presence there.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
there definitely is.
yeah. There was a guy that hit me up today on a Dawn unit and was like, "Is that thing better than a Krause?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It makes a pretty good strip if you ask me, but
Yeah.
who am I to judge?"
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of presence everywhere out there, whether it's through this podcast or the email blast, the YouTube, the TikTok. It's all about, honestly, what I really, really want to do is hire like an intern that just videos every day.
We've talked about it. Like he just follows us around with a camera.
Well,
Not just us, but they could be.
but absolutely. And I've thought about that because the number of demos that you guys do, that we have such a great opportunity to get awesome content for your customers to see.
Yeah.
And you just don't have time, because once you get that demo done, if you don't get that thing sold, you're off to the next demo.
Right.
So I mean, it's just, you got to have that person.
It's in the back, it's in the back of your mind, but it's like, oh, well, and that's why him and I like to go on them together, so that way one guy can be in the cab of the tractor, and then the other guy can be outside doing videos and stuff like that with them.
But if you had that, and then they can edit it make a nice, ad or just like you said, a TikTok or.
And it would just, and at the end of the week, you would have like 3 20-minute videos
Right.
of just like, Elliot would be in there, talking to him. Hey, what are you doing to this sprayer, Elliot? Well, see, we got to put this rate controller on here, and we didn't have this cable, so we got to order this, and we're changing tips and yada yada. And just at the end of the week, maybe they go ride with Grandpa today,
Right.
delivering that tool.
Yeah.
And you have some really good content of just what in the world's going on at the dealership.
Right.
Not hey, look at this tool. This is how it works. It's just more of a.
Well, people are interested in with what's going on, other than just
Doesn't-
buying something.
it doesn't even have to be product information. They just kind of want to see what you're doing, and they appreciate the absolute most out of that. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I try to do videos of like what we're doing in product content, but like seeing the backside, like watching Brent, shorten up a piece or laser something out, make it, show him drawing it on the computer and then watch it come to life.
All the custom fabbing stuff that we do, that would be pretty cool. Just get like little tidbits of a piece getting lasered out and then him welding it together. And it's like he's got a tote rack in there right now that he put together for a guy, and he's got 2 arms that we're working on a tender trailer for. So it's like, I think the content there would be endless. It'd just be a matter of just getting it all.
Oh, I created great content today that was not caught on tape, thankfully.
Oh, yeah?
So I was talking to Brent. He's working on a show stand. A couple of row units there, Coulters, probably for a planter or side dress type rig. And he was showing me this new bracket he put on it. And there was one was a shaft, and the other one was like a tube style. And I pointed to that. I said, "Man, that's the one right there." I put my hand on it.
It was
Hell,
hot.
He just painted it.
Oh,
He got a kick out of it.
I
of course.
bet. I bet.
I felt bad because I thought, I just screwed up what this guy just did. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, it's worth it just to see you get your hands dirty.
Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Exactly.
It'd be fun. At the end of the week, we could all just watch it,
Oh, yeah.
Because who knows what Grandpa's getting into today. Well, he went to pick up a tool and it had a flat tire and just those adventure stuff that.
Or the adventure we were just on up in the office today, the 3 of us. We're working on, teaching you the new configurator, going through some stuff and looking at some inventory, seeing where we're at, what we need or what we need to really push on. And, to have Dad come in and just start in on something.
Laying it down.
And it's like, but just stuff like that, just out of left field is kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that kind of stuff all the time. So, yeah, I started looking at the Wright State campus's, what type of degrees they have.
Yeah.
Like if there's videographer degrees that like an intern could come here and just follow people around with a dang camera. I mean...
it might be warmer if we go sit outside in the sun.
It probably would. Yeah, it's pretty chilly in this room right now.
Could you see us out there just sitting in the equipment lot with this table? And this is a nice table and chairs, by the way.
I know. And someday in podcast world, we're going to get to the video podcast.
Oh, my gosh.
And we'd be like Rogan. You'd be able to see it. And you'd be able to be here in the war zone with us.
I mean, I think this table and chairs has to be from, if it's not back to 79, it's like 86. Like it's Buick LeSabre type.
I know. And the chairs,
vintage.
The chairs,
it's incredible.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I bet you Hefner has some of these chairs.
Yeah. I feel like I'm sitting in a Cadillac right now.
Oh my gosh, this is sweet.
I know. It's really nice. We're it's pretty interesting in our new facility. A lot of people don't know, but there's like a safe room in here. I don't know what it measures, but it's concrete wall, concrete ceiling all around it. It's got a big old safe door on it, and we don't really keep anything in there. And then there's another showroom type area, and we're turning that into kind of a conference room.
Yeah.
Area.
The war room.
The war zone.
Yep.
War zone, okay.
Because right now we don't have a good place. If a customer wanted to come and sit down and talk numbers and stuff, we don't really have a good place for that.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to turn this into. So, got the pictures hanging up on the wall that we've accumulated over the years of aerial photos, and we got our coyote over there, Cody's coyote, that's full body mounted.
Dude, that thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Our very first coyote ever that we shot.
Really? Yep.
Oh yeah, there's some history right there with that thing.
Where did it come from?
Came from Pataskala, Ohio.
No kidding.
Down where we deer hunt.
Yeah.
Yep, we called that thing. We called for probably 10, 15 minutes, and finally he came just roaring in.
Yeah.
It was like, coyote, coyote, boom, there he is. And yeah, that was...
He about ran us over that day.
Yeah.
Was this a couple years ago? Or
Very first one we ever shot.
Yep, we didn't... We didn't think we were going to call anything in, and then he just came out of nowhere. But...
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
Yep. So we haven't been doing a whole lot of that here real lately. We killed a couple a month or so ago. But
Yeah.
it's go time right now.
Oh yeah,
they're starting to. The
Looking
coyote
for food, huh?
the coyote rut is going on
yeah.
right now, or it's getting ready to. Pretty much mid-February is when they'll breed, but the coyote breeding season is really drawn out. Like they'll start finding mates in January, and they're very particular on finding a mate, and then they'll live together for a while, and then they won't breed until February.
Till they get married.
Right.
Yeah, they'll shack up.
But they actually help each other raise the young.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Sometimes they have like other dogs with them that are like helper dogs and stuff like that help raise the pups. And
Yeah, like yearling females, they won't all breed. They're capable of breeding, but they don't all breed, and so those will be helpers. It's kind of interesting. So sometimes you could have 3 adult coyotes raising young.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, basically that helper coyote, it'll go out and find food, and well, it's pretty neat the way they find food originally is they'll go find something, eat it, kill it. They don't always drag it back to the den. They'll eat it and then they'll regurgitate
Right.
it,
Okay.
and then the pups will eat that.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
That is incredible.
Yeah, they're nuts. But we'll get into some more coyote hunting here lately. Cody's got a little gift showing up this week that'll help us with that.
Oh, really? You spend some money or what?
yeah, I bought it. So I bought a suppressor for my AR, basically just to help us get more consecutive shots in. Like if a group of 4 or 5 come in, we can shoot more of them. Just the way that AR goes off, it sounds
a cannon.
Yeah, it cracks pretty dang. It's loud.
And you're doing this late at night typically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't like going in heavy populated areas, not because I'm afraid of shooting a building or something. It's just
It's so loud.
the last thing I want to do is make the neighbor angry.
Right.
But, you know,
We've made one guy upset a couple of times.
yeah, but there's it's not only to try and keep more dogs from running off real quick, it's also for our hearing.
Yeah.
Like Cody will be to my right, and if a coyote kind of comes into our left and he's kind of shooting right here, you know, I'm safe, but like his gun barrel's going to be right next to, you know, in front of me, but like right next to me, and it's just like, oh, here it comes, you know. And you don't always plug your ears, and it's like, geez, and you're ringing for like 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear bells ringing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, that'll be here Wednesday.
yeah.
Nice.
So we had the Fort Wayne Farm Show there
Yeah.
last week or the week before, I guess. That was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
For us, I thought. You know, the customers were excited to be there. We talked to a lot of guys, and you know, if Louisville is like that at all, it's going to be a great show down there too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Which usually that's always it's kind of like our pre-Louisville interpretation of what we think that show's going to be. And, you know, it's always neat because you see certain guys at certain shows,
Right.
and it's guys that you hadn't talked to for like a year, and they go, hey, I remember talking to you. Yep. So it's always good to reconnect with some of those guys. There's a guy up in Michigan that I sold 8 strip till units to last year, and he was there, and we talked, and
It's nice. I tell you, it's the attitudes that you guys have told me about from that show 2 weeks ago makes it exciting coming up because January these first 3 weeks in January it's been busy.
It's been very busy.
You know, so I
Yeah.
mean, it's spring's just around the corner too.
Guys
I know.
Guys are getting geared up, and they're ambitious about it, and
Let's
it's
think about it. You have a demo tomorrow, tillage demo
yeah,
What the heck's going on there?
in January.
That's got to be a first.
yeah, no kidding.
What are you doing?
So we're gonna run a 20-foot VRT tomorrow.
Nice.
Guys got muck ground. I'm like, isn't the ground frozen? He goes, it don't freeze. It's muck ground. You can go in and till it whenever you want, basically. He goes, the water freezes, but he goes, the ground, it doesn't freeze at
That'll
all.
be interesting.
I go, oh, okay.
Have to
well."
get some video of that.
For sure. Yeah, that'll be
So-
good.
Gonna tow that up there, and I don't know what we'll get into, but it ought to be good.
Hopefully a sale.
No, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
I mean, if it can work in January, it'll surely work in April.
anytime. Absolutely.
for sure,
But
pretty pumped about it. So
yeah, the calendar turned and we got after the first of the year and guys were calling and we were quoting and pretty soon the quotes were falling and it's like, dang, we're pretty dang busy in the shop right now. Like doing a tender trailer build, doing a lot of sprayers.
Yeah.
Pull type sprayers have been strong. Like we sold probably 3 of those little 60-gallon top air, those little yellow small tank, but guys with, even if they have a big sprayer, they're using that sprayer on those wet days when it's too wet to get that big sprayer in there. And geez, go cover a lot of ground. They've got hydraulic fold booms on them now. I mean, you can cover some serious ground with them.
For sure.
A little, tiptoe through the ground and not mess anything up.
yep,
Those things are handy.
that and the strip till world for us has been pretty big too. So
No doubt. Yeah, I did a 12-row 3-point going to Tennessee. You did a 6-row today.
yep,
Freshener.
yep. I've got,
Which, talk about how far back that demo. Like, you want to talk about demo. We always talk about how demos always end up paying off somehow. This demo was done when? I could look it up.
I bet it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Whenever this all happened, I think it was the fall of 23 is whenever it happened. And I don't remember what was going on, but I had you go do it. And I always see this guy. He's from Paulding County. And I always see this guy at certain shows and stuff like that. And he hit me up on doing a demo, and I'm like, yeah, we can do a demo. And I think I was demoing a tillage. I think I was demoing a Salford that day, and I was like, hey, I'll line this up. Can you go do this? Yeah, okay, whatever. And he took it out there and demoed it, and
We left it there.
yeah, we left it there for a little bit. He ran some other acres. He had the ability to plant into it the next spring, and he said comparatively, whether they were running the field cultivator or running this, they were able to. They didn't really see a decrease as far as yield, so it made sense for him to go this route. So
Nice.
Yeah, I went with 6 Yetter CC fresheners.
Yep.
Which, did we demo him the CCs or the standards?
CCs.
Okay. I couldn't
Yep.
remember.
Yep, that 8-row bar that you traded out of Kentucky
Yeah.
or
Canada.
Canada. Yeah,
And that's something you never would have sold without a demo.
No.
right.
And that's the way a lot of these demos are. Like, good luck these days trying to sell something like that, ground engaging.
Right.
If you don't demo it.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. There's just so many, things in play. Is it going to work in my ground, and can I pull it, and how big a one can I pull? And
Yeah, and then I've got 16 units heading to New York, Dawn units,
Yep.
all blade machine, and then I got an 8-row bar going up north of Van Wert.
Yep.
So strip till has been big. So
Yeah.
it's been well. And speaking of strip till, that's what we were doing the last time we were podcasting. We were demoing strip till units. So
Michigan.
yep, we were up in Michigan, and you got that deal.
Yep.
So
How many demos did you do that day?
That day, we did 3. We did 2 strip till demos and that 35-foot VRT.
Oh, yeah. And that thing stayed up there, didn't it?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, so that demo day, 2 of the 3 demos fell.
No, that's great.
And the other guy wants to play with a 42-31.
Really?
Yeah, he's a 31-foot guy. But, yeah, he's a 4,200 candidate all day.
You better get that thing up there.
I don't have a 31.
Well, 24 will do the job.
Yeah, it will. We should. We should. We could do that.
We can order new ones, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sell something, you can actually reorder these days.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You would do that for me?
Probably what I would do for
Okay.
you.
Dang. You should have said something sooner.
I thought the tools that we had on our lot.
I didn't know we could put in orders.
I didn't know that either.
All right.
That's
Well,
interesting.
after the podcast, we'll have to make a list.
We'll just start entering. I showed you how to order stuff. Just click that green button at the end.
Okay, that's what you do. I got you. Buy now.
Yep, buy now.
Like Amazon, it'll be here and be here tomorrow by 3 p.m.
That's right.
Do you have Prime?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Funny.
No, actually, yeah, we've got some spreaders coming. We've got some tillage tools coming. You know, it's
Yeah.
things are moving. I sold a 25-foot cultivator,
Yeah.
2-piece
Yeah.
S-tine.
I've got a 1231 that's heading to basically Lafayette, Indiana.
Yeah, we put a cedar on his harrow.
It was a McFarlane reel disc is what it was.
It wasn't that big harrow thing.
But
That's not a real disc.
Well, it's not their real disc. It's
It was
something
like
it.
a 10-bar harrow.
Yeah, like a leveling harrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
We put a cedar on that probably 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
And he ran that. And now he's going to take that cedar off. Cody sold the tool to him with just brackets on it. Mm-hmm. And he's going to put the cedar on the tool.
Okay. Is that the one you were setting up in the shop today?
Yep.
Yep.
Had to put some more weights on it and put the brackets on it. It was already built. We ordered it for stock and
It's our last one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Guess we'll just leave it that way.
We got a 2231 that we need to move yet too.
That one had hydraulic harrows.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we've sold a couple of those now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Special orders.
I tell you what, I think him and I talk about it, but I know it doesn't take a lot to adjust those manual harrows, but being able to do it inside the cab with the hydraulic lever that's the ticket. And for how much money it costs to do it, it just makes sense whenever a guy's buying a tool of that caliber.
Adam told me that last fall, and I was like, I've always been a big believer of the standard, less inexpensive. It does the trick. Till I was in the field last fall with a 2200, and it had hydraulic harrow tines. And going from corn stalks transitioning into some heavier residue, it was just crap. And then coming back into some damp stalks or dry stalks. It was so incredible to just be able to hydraulically adjust them. Just, you weren't getting any beaver mounds like you would have. If it was manual, you're not going to get out and change them.
Right.
You're just going to keep going, raise it up if you have to, just to, level it out. But yeah, that's a nice feature that we've kind of undersold for years that now I think we really need to push because it's guys like the
for what a guy's putting into that tool. I mean, it's not.
It's minor.
It's not much more money to do it, and it's like you're already buying that type of caliber of tool.
Well,
you might as well.
And in my opinion, that they do so much.
Right.
Sometimes on a tool, the harrows just get overlooked because they're kind of the dummy part of that tool.
Yeah.
Like they're just there.
And they're typically like a 3/8 tine or something.
Yeah.
Or a drag bar harrow.
Spike.
Yeah, a spike drag bar
But yeah,
harrow.
this half-inch round, by 20 inches long, it's amazing the amount of residue they'll flow, but yet level the dirt.
Yeah. Because typically with a 12 or 22, that's a pre-plant pass. So it's pretty crucial to get that stuff leveled out. You don't want your planter running through those beaver huts.
For
And
sure.
so, yeah, I think being able, because on the manual adjust, you only have 5 or 6 positions. That doesn't mean that that's the right position.
Right.
Whereas with the hydraulic, it's infinity.
Well, and like on the original 570 and the 1100, you weren't creating enough dirt with the blades to really have the need to change them tines.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
with the 5-inch spacing, 12 and 2200, you're actually creating some dirt to level out.
Yeah.
So that's where it's a lot more valuable today than it
for
ever
sure.
has been. And the residue is just so tough and heavy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and you can do it even in bean stubble. You can beaver hut it in that. And
Well, I was on a farm with that tool and had a 50-foot draper. So, I mean, his bean residue was it's a lot.
Right. You cannot get that spread back out.
Yeah.
Not with the combine.
No.
Not that far.
Nope.
So, yeah, it's a big deal, and I think in the future that's how I'm going to get them from now on.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I really like what I see out of it.
For sure.
But yeah,
For sure. They made a few minor adjustments to the VRT a little bit with that spacer kit.
Yeah, and that, I think that's, I don't believe it's anything going into production at
Not
this
yet,
point.
no.
I think it's a situation where we ran into some tougher conditions last fall that we've never seen before because it was so dry.
Yep.
I mean, the ground was like concrete. And, I think getting maybe a little bit of flex out of them arms, causing it to, follow in the track of the other blade, the front blade and the rear blade at times.
Yep.
yeah,
I mean, just unbelievable conditions. But yeah, putting them spacers in there, I think really did a heck of a good job for
Yeah.
what we've seen in the field day this fall.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
yeah, and we did a lot of demos this fall that are still kind of hanging out there in limbo. Guys still interested.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, the outcome of this year's crop, I think, is really going to hinge on it. But I still think we're going to have a big year for VRTs.
Well,
no,
I think
no question.
Well, and you know how it is. You demo in the fall. Guy wants to see what it plants like in
Right.
the spring.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. It's always one of those deals where, oh yeah, I really like it. I do, but I want to plan into it, make sure it's the right thing because it's a big purchase,
Well, how many times have we demoed where it takes that season or two
Oh,
or
yeah.
three,
for sure.
just to get that commitment for, I mean, guys want
Or-
to see it in the fall and in the
Or
spring.
or even yeah, like you said, even a guy that ran it in the fall. Well, I'd still like to see that thing run in the spring too.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot to that, no doubt. I mean, just like the strip till demo we just talked
Yeah.
about. I mean, demo to him, and then pretty soon his neighbor wants a demo, and
Right.
they just grow. I mean, the way that Salfords are able to just grow in areas is amazing, and it's because they see their neighbor do it, they see the success, and
See what they can do with it, and they're just like, okay, well, maybe that's something we need to. I mean, you think about the amount of 5200s we moved this year.
Oh, I mean,
That was a prime example of it.
in a close proximity. I mean,
Yeah.
there is quite a few in your guys' market between the Nova store and the Salina location. These heavy populated areas of Salford tools, 12s, 2200s, 5200s, VRTs. I mean, it's incredible how these pockets have grown from just that first guy purchasing
For sure.
and seeing the success and less trips that his neighbor's making.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I've had some organic guys hit me up about the row cultivator.
Okay.
What you got going on there?
Well, that's that was last year. We had a limited. Well, we had prototypes, and then we had we built a handful for retail that we got sold last year. I had one in Michigan, and Jason sold up there. Got a guy up there, Travis. I can't think of his last name at the moment, but I mean, it went really well. It's as of today, it's a 30-inch spacing row unit. You got you can adjust. It's got cameras on it. It's got feelers on it. For the row. There's lots going on there, but it's built to go high speed cultivating.
Really?
And that's what guys like about it. I mean, they're limited to speed on their conventional type cultivators they've been used to running, but they're making so many passes. That some guys making 5 passes.
Wow.
Well, once they get done, they're coming back and making another pass. So there's lots of adjustments on the row unit. lots of different things you can do to keep them weeds out. And it's so far so good. Making a few changes to it for this year, for model year 25. Have a couple units going up there into the thumb of Michigan. But I think it's limited build again this year. We're building about 12 units this time around. So I think by fall, going into next spring, we'll be full production.
Sure.
12 row, 16 row, and 24 row 30 at this point.
Really? All 3-point?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So I think we're gonna, hopefully look at. It's going to be other row unit options guys are already asking for because of the specialty crops, vegetables, different things like that. There will be. I've asked for just the row unit as well. Without electronics, things like that, so we can do more of a conventional type. Build your own.
Right.
Because not everybody needs all of that.
Right. Or you get, like, I know I've got a guy that's interested in them for tomato ground. He wants to do it for tomatoes. Okay. And that would be something that, there's definitely a market there for it, but it's got to make sense in your guys' eyes too.
Yeah, but you'll see, we'll have a row unit on display at Louisville Farm Show. I guess I forgot to mention that earlier. And we took some really good video with our customers last year, so we'll have some video there. And so it'd be a good opportunity to see what that thing is capable of when you come down to the show and visit us.
For sure.
Good.
For sure.
I'm excited for the show. I really am. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll have both booths there again this year.
Yep.
We kind of did a trial run on that last year, and I thought that definitely paid off.
You kind of catch people that might pass you by down there in your original booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that don't go to the West Wing or there's just so much to see that if they're not there for a long period of time, it's hard to get through the whole show.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think it is about the Salford brand that's really drawing customers to it? I have so many guys, we've traded in recently horse jokers, Kraus accelerators, and they're all great tools. Mm-hmm. But what is it so much that is, and I feel I've got some ideas, but guys are attracted to Salford, and I think a lot of it has to do with the soil health part of it.
Absolutely, that and the uniqueness of our tools compared to the big box store type tools. Mm-hmm. We build them to do so much more than just one purpose.
Right.
And so along with that and the durability and quality that we put into the equipment, it's really caught on. Mm-hmm. We're a brand today where I've been with Salford 15 years, and a lot of people didn't know who we were back then.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But now today, we've just done such a good job with dealers like yourself promoting us and doing a good job getting out to the farm shows, social media. Tara's just done an amazing job with social media and the influencers, and we got some influencers that are running our equipment, that own our equipment, and that's carried a lot of weight as well and gained a lot of respect.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's amazing how many farmers you talk to or you get on their farm, and the reason you're there is because they seen a video. Mm-hmm. Might have seen your video. I got 70-year-old farmers coming to Louisville Farm Show, and they talk about your newsletter they get every Friday. Mm-hmm. So there's just so many different things, but we've created a lot of our tools to do what others don't.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think once people start to really understand the thought and the idea behind each blade having its own spring and each blade having its own bearing kit and how easy that is to change blades on. And you change blades on a gang machine once or twice and you're pretty well fed up with it. You do it once, you're fed up with it after the first set of gangs.
A lot of labor goes into that.
Yeah.
And it's just like those gang machines, if you downtime, you break a blade, well, not so much a blade, but you have a bearing go out or you bend a gang, you're done. Us, you can you just drop a blade, or you can put a bearing on it and go. You don't have to drop a gang, and disassemble it and reassemble it. There's just so many
Yeah.
And you were just talking about this today earlier at lunch. You're like, we just don't sell enough parts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do. I always said from back in the early days of Salford, I kind of referred to it as we build the equipment for the military.
Right.
I mean, it's built well.
Yeah,
It's not gonna. It's not
built like
gonna.
tanks.
It's not built to sell parts. There is some brands that do, and that's fine. But we just don't build equipment like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know of guys that if they have something go wrong, they'll just drop that coil out, throw it in the basket, and keep rolling.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, when they get downtime at the end of the day, just fix it.
Right.
But yeah, downtime is non-existent.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wild. But
Yeah, you gotta do something pretty foolish in order for it to be
Right.
down.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's true.
it's definitely. I'm not saying that they're indestructible, but guys definitely know their limits, and but with any tool that you
Right.
overbound its limits, it's going to definitely hinder the
Well,
ability of the tool.
There's so much testing that goes into these tools. Sometimes it takes longer to introduce it just because we want another season.
Right.
But the reason for that is you want to test those conditions as much as you can, because it could bite you in a hurry and really throw mud on your name pretty fast.
Right.
So
And-
we
and
try not to put our dealers in that position.
And conditions change so quickly throughout the season. It's, we talked about this last year, how hard it was. Well, think about, in years prior where it's been just so wet. Well, you can barely tiptoe anything out there to
Right.
to go get anything done, you
Right.
know? And that's where a lot of guys like the ability to, with being able to go fast with these tools too, is being efficient and being able to get through those acres in a timely manner.
Right.
I forget what it was. I've got a guy that runs a 35 footer, and I forget how many acres an hour he said that he was going, but he was cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Going 12 mile an hour.
Yep.
Eating
And
acres.
built for speed just for that reason, because it seems like our window of opportunity has gotten narrower and narrower. Spring and fall.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think that's a big reason for some of the sprayers and a lot of stuff that we're selling is just pure efficiency.
Yep.
Because these windows get tighter, and
Yeah.
as soon as it's dry, you got to be going.
Well, that's why you're selling sprayers. That's why you're selling so many pull type spreaders
Right.
to farmers. They want to be able to get out there, spread wider, faster.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
not wait on anybody to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind whenever it comes to a tool like that. And I know we did a video on maintenance comparing like doing a gang machine versus changing blades out on a Salford and stuff like that. And a lot of guys don't really, there are a lot of guys, oh well, there's a lot of bearings on that tool. Yeah, but you asked me how many bearings I've sold for that tool.
Right.
Yeah, they're good bearings. They don't go bad
Yeah.
at all. But and we've been doing some cedar trips too lately. The
Oh,
guys went down to Tennessee last weekend.
Yeah, that's
last
right.
week, and put a cedar on a strip till bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
It's crazy the amount of applications you're putting that cedar on.
yeah, and in the shop, we've got the start of a 3-point. It's going to be a 45-foot boom.
Okay.
But we're using an Unverfirth hydraulic fold boom,
That's gonna be nice.
one of their spray booms, and it's just going to be the Valmar's up on a 3-point chassis that we built, and then we just got to bolt the boom to the back of it and run the hoses.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. He's actually doing fertility with it, fertilizer.
Really? See,
Just
to me,
doing,
that's gonna
doing like micros or what?
I really don't know what
Well,
all
you
he's
can-
running through it.
I love the idea of that compared to a pull type. Just because of the row space. You set your tractor up for 30-inch rows or whatever your row spacing is, and you can take that thing anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
nice and tight and neat and easy to get around, nimble, and
Yep.
Yeah.
it doesn't weigh anything.
No.
Even full
Right.
on any tractor, that 3-point's going to feel pretty light. So,
That'd be nice.
yeah, I mean, from strip till bars to, of course, you mentioned that new seeder that you're going to have at Louisville. The beauty of that thing is, man, if I could have had that thing 10 years ago, how narrow it is. I've fought so many tools, they fold up and the wings come in and hit the seeder.
Right.
And so now that narrow one, geez, that thing can fit in all those places that we never could before. So whether it's a tight fit Kraus or a tight fit Landau, Great Plains Terramax, some of them fold up pretty tight on the wings. And even like I think we measured up a 40-foot John Deere 2660. That thing folds up real tight. Them tires actually come in and touch, but I think there's room in there for the 50-56 or
70-56.
The smaller one.
Oh, the 50.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it would fit in there. So, I think that thing does have a lot of applications as well.
Yeah.
There's definitely, we do a good job of filling that void. There's some other manufacturers that make some units that can go on there, but our ability to customize and mount those is where we really fill that void.
For sure.
But yeah, a lot of that cover crop stuff is still going on. We've been doing a lot of planter repair kits, the RK stuff with Copperhead. Of course, your son Tim is the Copperhead rep. I'm sure a lot of these guys have met him already.
Yeah.
Saw him at the farm show. And so, yeah, we've been doing a lot of those weld-on kits for the tail pieces, a lot of gauge wheel arm kits. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of neat stuff where, the new planter sales don't seem to be there right now. Guys are repairing what they have and making it better.
Yeah.
It's a lot more affordable compared to whenever corn was at $6-7, and it's like, should we rebuild the planter? Should we just trade for a new one? Well, let's just price that.
Well, it's funny. There's a lot of these attachments out there that are kind of making it better than what it was factory.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good attachment companies out there. That, he's just lucky to work for the best one.
Yeah. I got a guy who's doing, we did row cleaners on his planter last year. We did the weld-on kits. We did the Yetter closing wheels. Now he's putting the parallel linkage arms in with the bearings in them from CFC.
Yep.
So, like, his planter, there's no question it's better than new.
Yeah.
And, with the row cleaners and the closing wheels and everything, yeah, he's got some money in that per row, but that thing's going to last forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
guys that are not real keen on or can't afford to get themselves into a situation like that to where they, you go look at the sticker of a new 16-row high-speed Deere today, and it's like, okay, well, I think I'll explore another option. It's like we had a 2600 Kenzie in last week, and we stripped that thing where it was about butt naked, and it's
a good planter.
Yeah, it's going to be ready to rock and roll here come spring. So a lot of stuff that is advantageous for a grower to where it's like, well, I'm planning on keeping this planter for another 5 years. Well, what can, a lot of those products that are available, they'll last the lifetime of that planter.
For sure.
It has to have ROI.
Right.
Today, if you're going to, and that's our job, is to bring things that'll give the grower an advantage to his doorstep.
Exactly.
And if it doesn't have an ROI,
right,
what's the point?
It's game over. There's a lot of trinkets and tricks that you can look at, but if you can bring efficiency and ROI to a guy, it's game on. You'll be able to literally change his operation.
For sure. Sure.
That's the beauty of what we do, is we have the ability to take a grower who's extremely good. The growers we deal with are top notch, and he knows what he's doing. He knows how to grow corn. They farm some ground, and we can offer him some tools that can make his life easier, more efficient, and bring a return on investment to his bottom line.
For sure.
That's pretty cool. That's fun.
Absolutely it is.
For sure. But around here locally right now, the talk of the bird flu is kind of a big deal now. we got a lot of chicken barns around, and some of them are getting hit with the bird flu right now. A lot of these layers.
Yeah.
Which I don't know anything about the bird flu, but I guess if you got a layer barn, it can wipe them out pretty quick from what guys are saying. So that's an interesting topic going around right now, which I remember, when the first noises of it came about, it's probably been 3-5 years ago, maybe even longer. The big thing was like travel bans and stuff. Like you didn't want to travel from place to place. And I feel like I'm not saying it's not in place anymore, but a lot of them places have got like those wash bays before you even enter the facility.
Biosecurity.
Yeah. The biosecurity has definitely picked up, but I wonder how that stuff travels. Like, is it light enough to just kind of travel through the air, or does it have to be carried in on something?
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Something that I wish I knew a little bit more about, but
yeah, there's a ton. I would hate to know how many birds are in this county and Dark County.
Well, it's the number one county in the state
for ag products in general.
But
yes.
I think for poultry too. Right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. A lot of that kind of stuff going
Scary.
on. But every avenue of production agriculture has got its ups and downs and the downsides to it. Pigs have got the same issues, so do cattle sometimes. Not always to that extent. It's pretty rare that something comes around that wipes out a whole barn of cattle.
Right.
But
or a whole barn of pigs too. I mean, there's definitely some diseases out there that can definitely hinder that as far as a growing standpoint.
Yeah.
But it's not to the severity of what some of these guys are saying the avian flu's doing.
Right. Yeah. A lot of stuff happening there. But Trump's in office now. He's laying down the law, it looks like.
He had a good week last week, didn't he?
I guess. He's got the old Colombian guy all upset today.
No, really?
From what I read,
I haven't seen the news today.
Yeah, he was telling him, I don't know the whole story. Something about, he was trying to deport some people to Colombia, and
they won't take them back.
Yeah, they won't take him back. He said, "You're not landing."
Had planes on the way, right?
Yeah, he said, "Your plane ain't landing here," and he said, "Fine, then we'll slap some tariffs on you." And that didn't go over too well the way it looked. So
Wow.
I mean,
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm just glad we got the golf back.
the Gulf
Yeah.
of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Important.
You go down to Florida, are you going to the Gulf of America side, or are you going to the Atlantic
Right.
side? So
Cool stuff. I'm excited.
interesting. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. See what what trade looks like. I know China's having some issue with Brazilian soybeans right now, and we've become a little bit of a player there, and the market's reflected that over the last couple of weeks.
Wasn't it like quality or something like that came out in that report?
Yeah, there were some quality issues, I guess, with some soybeans coming in to China from Brazil, and wheat has kind of priced its way out of a lot of feed ingredients, so that brings more corn demand in there. And so not only that, it all kind of started with that reduction in yield that was brought out in that report 3 Fridays ago. And it's down today, but we'll see how it ends the week. And overall, it's been strong. I mean, here the basis 10 days ago was 6 over. You could sell corn back there at $4.85, maybe a little more. So if you held on to your corn for a little bit, that's a good time to be hauling some in. I would certainly imagine.
Better than it was this fall.
Cattle guys are grinning ear to ear right now.
Yeah, cattle's strong. Jeez, them.
Yeah.
202 I saw this morning. It just keeps going.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Keeps going.
It was, what was it? Beginning of the year, it started at like, I want to say it was
in the 170s forever.
It was like 170, and then here in the last 3 weeks, it's made this massive climb up to 202.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Strong cattle prices, commodities overall low.
Yeah.
So feed costs are they're not non-existent by any means. Don't get me wrong, but they're very manageable. It can help cover up a lot of wrongdoings if you have to feed them a little long or something, But yeah, overall, right now the cattle market's definitely the bright spot in the commodities.
For sure.
So apparently there's, and the cattle market takes so long to adjust. If there's a low inventory of cattle, you're not going to change that overnight.
Right.
It's going to take a long time
For sure.
to get more cattle back into the market, especially the double-edged sword there is, think about it. If you've got a herd of 50 cows and 10 of them didn't breed in years past, you may have kind of held on to them, say, we'll give them another shot. Well, now you're looking at them like, okay, I can either feed you for a little longer, or you're worth not quite 202 on the hoof,
Right.
but you're worth dang near it.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you later. So now instead of
you can call animals and still turn a
Right.
profit,
right,
Bon voyage.
yeah,
or
so,
create some cash, whatever. But
yeah. So instead of keeping her back for reproduction, she's going to the market, and so is the inventory really growing a whole lot?
Right.
Because
Right.
they're worth so much. As soon as they hit the ground, it's like, see you later. So I don't know. I'm not deep in that big cattle market, but the thing is, though, you got to buy them high too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to buy them cheap and sell them high.
Right.
You got to buy them high and sell them higher. But
Yeah,
that's
for
the name
sure.
of the game. Using commodities to build profit through feeding is the name of the game.
Yep.
But sitting here as a Buckeye, it feels good to be national champions.
it
It
sure
does.
does.
Jeez,
It does.
it's a good day to be
Great
Ryan
ride.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that guy went through it. I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't, look down at Ryan Day a little bit after the Michigan game. I'm not innocent in that
Right.
realm.
None of us are.
We all thought, just the play calling, in my opinion, was just atrocious
Yeah.
at the Michigan game. They had so many weapons.
The funny thing is that we're all sitting here thinking, gosh, what the heck is he doing? And we're all still sitting here selling farm equipment, but yet he's still making $8 million a year for coaching a football team. So
He
the guy's got something going for him.
The playoff was fun.
It was.
Especially that Tennessee game. Just to,
Yeah.
after they talked all their trash.
Yeah.
And it just light them up the way the Buckeyes did. That was
Yeah.
fun.
I can't. So many people that I knew that went to that game and just was like, they're like, the announcers were saying like, oh yeah, there's a pile of Tennessee fans here. And my brother went to that game and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, it was real. Like there was a lot of orange in them stands
a lot
for
of
sure.
sad fans heading south, though. That was the best part.
Yeah.
The way that they whooped them too, that felt
Oh,
pretty good.
man.
But,
Yeah, and then to get Oregon back the way they did. I mean, come on.
yep.
Oregon
Wasn't
didn't,
even a game.
Oregon didn't know what to do.
No, neither of those teams did.
No, they just did not know what to do.
They were like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It was just the Michigan game. I don't know what it was about it. I don't know. We'll never know what it looked like leading up to that game, the week leading up to it, and what their plan was. But man, how they ever thought they were going to win the way that plan was is just beyond me. I mean, you just weren't going to do it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they had a reason for it. That's why they're there. But
They made up for it. Mm-hmm. Take
They
a
did.
natty any day.
That's right.
over
looking
beating
back,
Michigan.
looking back, they lost the perfect time. Like looking
Yeah.
back, that was the best loss of the season.
you
Best
want to
time.
talk about a way to light a fire under someone's rear end. That was the freaking way to do it. And they were just,
Look what it did.
yep.
Look what it did.
They were like, all right, well, you just woke up the monster, man, and the monster's coming.
Yeah,
And you better
because-
get off the tracks.
they win that game, they go into the playoff or they go into the Big Ten championship.
Right.
Maybe they're asleep there because that game doesn't matter. Get rolled by Oregon, and who knows what happens then?
Right.
They
Well,
lost.
and on top of that, too, you look at it, they lost to Michigan and had 23 days to prepare for the next guys coming.
Yeah,
And you could clearly tell that they were very, very well prepared.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they weren't going to go down.
Yeah, it's fun. Every team has to lose like that at some point.
Yeah.
I think you look at a lot of undefeated teams. Very rarely can they pull it through the entire time because they just get they get lazy. They just feel like they're just going to walk on the field and win. And I think that's what Ohio State did walking
to
into
an
the shoe.
extent. To an extent, but the amount of pressure that you're trying to put on kids that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, that, you know, there are people all over the country rooting for you, and all of this weight that gets laid on their shoulders, like, oh my gosh, like I could only imagine the amount of pressure they felt to do something like that, especially on an undefeated standpoint. But it always seems like a one-loss team or a two-loss team is always scarier than an undefeated team, unless it's unless you got Nick Saban on the other side.
You got to have those losses to learn something from. Right?
Yeah,
because you don't
absolutely.
learn anything from a win.
Right.
You don't learn nothing.
Exactly.
You go in there and lose, and you start to learn. You start to look at those things
that you did wrong.
Yep. Whereas in a win, those things that you did wrong get brushed over. It's
Right.
like, well, who cares? We won.
In a loss, you get held accountable for the things that you didn't do the right way, and
They got held accountable, and they came out, and like I said, they turned it on at that first game, and they were able to win out.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Fun.
yeah,
I'm glad it's over though. It was pretty stressful.
yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame game was was stressful. Like we had it, and then they went back to that Michigan game again, and they started monkeying around. In my opinion, they were trying to burn the clock, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And they couldn't get the first downs, and so Oregon get the ball back, and they were still hungry, so they would score, and it shouldn't have came down to what it did.
No.
But that's all right. Okay, well, I'd say we're probably about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're creeping up.
Gunkelman can't work past 4:30.
I can see my breath.
Yeah, it's cold in here. We
creeping up on an hour.
The heat situation is still pending. We will get that fixed by
Working on
next time you're here.
Okay.
So it'll be nice and cozy in here for you. So, well, guys, thanks for tuning in. That was the latest edition of the Talking Shed podcast. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
For coming
Good
over.
time.
Good time.
It always is. It's always good to sit down with you.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, we kind of like you, but
Well, kind of legendary.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Kid-
absolutely.
Kids got flag football tonight. You coming?
Oh, really?
We got back-to-back games.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
6:15 and 7:15.
7:15 is getting kind of late for your dad.
I was
but
gonna
maybe
say,
come
he'll
to
be
the
in
first
bed.
game.
It's getting late for me.
Yeah.
We leave there at 8:15, come home, and hurry up and shower and get to bed.
Wow.
And they're all wound up from playing football, so you know how that
Oh
goes.
boy, I can't imagine what your household's like.
So,
Definitely never a dull moment.
Right.
I can assure you of that.
yeah. Yeah, we woke up to Jackson. He wasn't feeling the best yesterday. He was just way off. I mean, he was a menace yesterday. Even worse than he always is. And he said his belly hurt, and it was just bad. We woke up this morning to his projectiles
Oh,
in his room.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, our house, and we smelled it before we saw him, just to give you a picture.
No.
So, yeah, so he's been sleeping all day today.
Okay.
So, yep, so we'll see how that goes when we get home.
Yeah. Well,
So.
good luck with that. Hopefully he feels better.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe I won't come to the game tonight.
I got to find time this week. We got to record our recipe this week.
Yeah,
You see that? The boys' recipe? I'll show that to you.
yeah.
We did our, Cassie used to do the
Oh,
recipes.
yeah. I
Now,
did see that on the newsletter Friday.
me and the boys cooked it.
Nice.
And so we got a recipe we got to do this week. So,
Nice.
yeah, the boys in the kitchen.
Perfect.
So, one day we'll have Jackson on there cooking eggs. That kid can cook eggs like no other.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's
That's
an egg.
fun.
He's an egg machine. Cracks them and scrambles them, everything. Just turn the stove on.
I
for
love
him.
eggs. I mean, there's so many ways you can cook them, and they're good.
Oh, we cook eggs all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty hard to mess them up,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. That's it. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.